Here's the countdown.
The countdown is finished, man. TVT for the final QXC is the Purple Terran. The Pink Terran is Fantasy. It's TVT on the Shattered Temple, the MLG version. And I have to say, QXC is 2 points ahead. He's looking very confident right now. Will he take a simple 3-0? I'm not sure right now, but QXC, he's spawning in the 3 o'clock position as the Purple Terran. Again, purple, probably his favorite color. Against the Pink Terran, Fantasy, spawning in the 12 o'clock position. It's going to be close air. Will that trigger any sort of special play? Maybe airplay from either of these players? I can't say right now. We have to wait and see. I'm joined by coLqxc, and he'll talk a bit about both of those players.
Yeah, I'm Cold StarCraft. For those of you just joining us, we're up to 418 viewers. I'm really excited. I'm really rooting for Fantasy this game. Hopefully my bias, you don't hear it too much, but I would love to see a game number 4. Now, as you were saying, close air. The bases are so incredibly close. You can see both of their main bases on your screen at the same time in this tiny little gap. So you were saying, will it trigger some different style of play? And I really hope it does. QXC using that racks to kind of get a wall off. Looks like he might finish that with another rack or another supply depot in a bit. But good little Sim City there. Dropping his racks, not choosing to wall in, although Fantasy is choosing to wall in. So I would love to see this close air abused. Maybe some quick banshees, some quick drops, things like that. But I really think the close air is going to change up this match.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been quite interesting, hasn't it? I mean, so many Terran players love to go for the trademark Banshees in TVT, but neither of these players have done so in the previous 2 games. And it looks like Fantasy is actually going to change it up. I mean, he always used to wall off, but now he's going for this normal time refinery, and that's something that he normally doesn't do. He normally likes to go for a late refinery. This time it's pretty timely, so Fantasy's changing it up a little bit. This early gas, in his standards, let's see what he'll bring to us, what we'll bring to the table. And QXC's playing pretty standardly. He's getting a tech lab, so I think he's going to go for that Reaper play again. And this map is probably one of the best maps for Reaper play, especially if it's close air, because the resistance is so small for Reapers. All you have to do is jump down this cliff, run on the lower ground, jump off this cliff, and then do a ton of damage into the main base of Fantasy.
Reapers, yeah, they'll be there so quickly. We see the Reaper coming out. Currently, his rally point is actually set to the natural. We'll see if that changes or not. A supply depot for QXC going down in the northern part of the map. Very, very smart. If there is going to be any banshees or drops, he wants to catch wind of that as fast as possible. Just looking over into the chat, Duke37 was wondering, what are these players qualifying for? Could you tell them what they're qualifying for? Because that's really important right now.
Yeah, sure. Basically, this is an NSL California qualifier. The winner will be the team captain for California, and he will get an extra $50 as well on top of that. So Team California will be combating in the NSL, and we'll be covering it, man, all the way. And it should be an amazing tournament here for North America. Which state will be the best is what we'll find out in the end. And we have a few months ahead of us, and it will be a long, nice tournament, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And not just states, man, provinces are in there too. Canada is in this tournament as well. We just saw BC versus Alberta yesterday. Great game, but I digress. The Reaper for QXC jumped up in the base, didn't actually get a kill or really too much scouting information, but there is a tech lab going down on a factory right now. No starport, so unfortunately no Banshee play. I was kind of secretly hoping for it. So we do see QXC dropping down a Ghost Academy and getting out racks. It looks like he's going for the exact same build, man. He's got a command center on the low ground, quick Ghost Academy, getting out Reapers. QXC this is his build, and he knows it so well, and he's saying, you know what, I can execute this regardless of what you do. My build is ready. I've practiced it, and he's going to just keep it going into game number 3.
Yep, it's looking... Yeah, I mean, it's looking like that's exactly what he's going to do, and not that he will. I mean, I just think it's like, he's not changing it up, man. I want something different now, because if I was Fantasy, I would be surprised from that Ghost play. I mean, let's see if Fantasy actually gets surprised, because right now, one Reaper does manage to sneak into the main base. The tank and the Marine is there, and they will clean it up. And looking at Fantasy, he's getting his fast feature tick out. He's getting a tank as well. He has another tank. He already has tank number 1 on the field. And I'm pretty sad, man, because we don't see any Banshee play, no airplay whatsoever, and look at the position. They're so close to each other. I would just love to see some airplay. Maybe we'll see it later. Maybe we won't. I just have to hope and pray.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was ready to bet money that we were going to see some sort of variation from these players with this close play, but it doesn't look like that's going on. As I say that, though, Fantasy is moving across the map with his Marines. He does not have Stim or Shields right now, but he is moving across Marines, tanks, and there's a couple SCVs. The Reapers will spot this actually and get a couple free kills because the Fantasy cannot see on top of this ledge, and he does not actually have enough energy even for a scan. Looks like he's going to have to take the long way, but this is going to allow coLqxc enough time to prepare for this.
Yeah, it just shows you the positioning, how important it is. coLqxc managing to snipe some units with those Reapers. Now he's going to snipe in some more SCVs. The SCVs are supposed to be like the meat shields to try to tank a bit of damage. The Reaper getting a ton of kills. He's on 2 kills already, actually. He's getting some more. So here come the Ghosts to lay down some snipes. The Reaper finally gets taken out. And it's only the tanks there. The tanks on their own will not be able to accomplish much. They will go down. They will put up a bit of a fight. All of the Ghosts survive, actually, I think, apart from one. And look at these Ghosts, man. They have 3 and 4 kills. That's a nice Ghost right there. A good job by those Ghosts. And I have to say, coLqxc is definitely ahead. He's 10 supply ahead. He's mining off 2 bases, something that Fantasy has not even yet thought about. I mean, yeah, he's constructed his command center, but he hasn't landed it. It's not an orbital command yet, so he's going to be behind on the economy for quite a while.
Yeah, those Ghosts did a great job, and you were pointing out the kills that they had. Really, really great kills, but the other thing is one of those Reapers was shooting a tank for a very long period of time, so he dished out a lot more damage in his short life than the kills will really kind of dictate. There's a factor going down right now for coLqxc, but I think coLqxc handled that very, very well, stayed calm, and this early Ghost play, I might have to incorporate this in my TVT. The early Ghost play is beautiful. It's extremely effective. Once you get rid of the Marines, the tanks are so much easier to deal with. And we see Fantasy just flying out his command center right now, but he is decently behind in supply. coLqxc is supply blocked right now, which is good for Fantasy, but again, he's down by about a dozen at the moment.
A dozen is a lot in a mirror match, so you have to be very careful about that. Right now we're seeing coLqxc constructing yet more buildings. His macro, man, is hitting that phase, that 10-minute mark. Once you hit that phase, coLqxc in that mid and late game, he starts being very aggressive, and his macro starts being super intensive. And, you know, it's not the late game yet. The mid game is not even just begun. It's about to kick in. But coLqxc, you can just see his macro is starting to get out of hand. He's getting the starports up. He's going to get some medvacs out of that. He's getting those barracks up. He's getting reactors to that. So the Marine counts will be replenished so quickly from him. He's even going to drop a third command center, and he'll be able to land that either on this side, on the bottom right corner, or on the gold expansion if he decides to take down the rocks. Looks like Fantasy wants to be aggressive again, taking that back path. Again, he wants to avoid the Naga Tower, which is occupied by coLqxc. A very smart choice. He's going to try to take coLqxc by surprise, checking the gold. If it's taken, it is not taken, and he's going to go straight for the expansion. Will he be able to siege up on time? It looks like he will. He's going to take down many Marines. Wow, the stim goes from coLqxc. coLqxc has so many SCVs as well, and the Ghost doing a ton of damage, and coLqxc is going to mop this aggression up. He makes it look so easy, man. I mean, yet again he cleans it up so easily without using any sort of tanks.
Yeah, he did clean that up pretty easy, although I think that was a decently favorable trade for Fantasy. The supply is closer than it was before, but yeah, making that so easy. He tried to come in with a Banshee from the north. The Banshee did get 4 kills, so a little bit of misdirection play there by Fantasy. He's doing whatever he can to try to stay in this game. Cloaking just ended, and he's continuing to get out Banshees right now. Checking the units tab, there's only one Banshee on the field right now. Will be followed up by a second. That second Banshee is about 3/4 the way done. More racks going down, so both players playing very, very well. But coLqxc has a completed command center just sitting as natural, waiting to be either turned into an orbital, floated up, and turned into a planetary. One of the two is going to happen, but Fantasy right now doesn't look like he's going to be taking a third. Units tab showing 36 workers, 37 workers for Fantasy, 43 for coLqxc. So coLqxc is just kind of ahead in all aspects. Oh, a huge drop, a huge medevac drop in Fantasy's base. A really nice spread, dropping those units while the medevacs are still moving, and add-ons are disappearing. Tons of stuff is disappearing. Fantasy is trying to take care of this as best he can, but an EMP goes down, takes away all the energy from the Banshee, allowing the Marines to be able to see it, and it immediately destroys that Banshee. I'm not even sure if Fantasy's going to be able to deal with this drop.
Dude, wow, before the drop happened, there was like this cloaked Banshee into the base of QXC, and that like kind of like tickled QXC to go for this mass drop, and there's a GG. Both their positions did alter the play. We saw some Banshee play, some drop play, but in the end, QXC prevails, takes the series 3-0, and he is our champion from today.